How do you handle that when a patient comes to you with fear, with doubt? How do you help them with hope?
80% of people, they ask, okay, I have this type of cancer, what do you know, what that can help? And my answer is always that, I'm not focusing on the cancer or on the tumor or where is it situated. I'm focusing on you and your terrain.
Welcome to Prescribed by Dr. Nathan Goodyear, where integrative oncology meets holistic healing. This podcast is your home for the latest in innovation, exploration, and elevation in all areas of integrative oncology, medicine, health, wellness, and beyond. Join me and a host of other innovators as we go from practicing to prescribing. Your daily dose of wellness begins now.
Dr. Nathan Goodyear, welcome to another Prescribed by Dr. Nathan Goodyear podcast. We are at the Metabolic Health Day Conference here in Tucson, where I think we're going to change healthcare as we know it. So what I wanted to do was bring in some other people that are working to change healthcare, not just in Tucson, not just in Arizona, but globally. And we have today with us Olga.
Yes.
Snopok?
Snopok.
Okay.
Right.
And she is in Costa Rica. So this is not something that's confined to Tucson or to Arizona. This is a unique opportunity. But I think first we have to talk about why you're here, your background, before we start focusing on solutions. But your background's unique because you're from Costa Rica, but there's a story that got you there. So give us your story about your journey that led you to what you do today.
Yes, of course. First, thank you so much for having me here.
Of course.
And giving me these great opportunities.
Yeah.
And my story starts when I moved to Costa Rica because I met my husband and we created a beautiful family. I'm living there already 8 years in this beautiful country. But how I'm here in Metabolic Health Conference is all start from my mother's diagnosis. When I knew that she has a kidney cancer, I told her that, okay, you have to go to Costa Rica, to my family, to live with us, to have a different different life because it's sunny place. There are my little kids going around, and she was really happy. And she was busy cooking for us, taking care of them, and she didn't have time to think about her illness. But of course, as I'm a nutritional therapist, I decided to dip in the integrative oncology and firstly help my mother to be healthy. And actually, thank God, she was living 5.5 years from the first diagnosis that she has. And this is thanks to metabolic approach to cancer and the integrative oncology and all the integrative therapies that we have implemented with her. The diagnostics, the vitamins plan, the diet, the mindset. But this was maybe the most heavy part where it's hard to enter into the brain of an old person and to change something. Because on my part, to change the diet, the vitamins, the diagnostic, that was easy. But it's not that easy to get into the brain.
Right. So there was a personal experience. And that personal experience touched you and it changed you and it changed your purpose, but you were kind of already moving down the nutritional track, correct?
Yeah.
Because when people listen to you, when people will watch you, they're going, okay, I've never heard anybody from Costa Rica with an accent like that. So where are you from originally?
Right, originally I'm from Belarus, and I was living in Russia as well. And Costa Rica is just a beautiful place to live and to grow kids and to bring them up.
What I love about that is because it shows the journey you've made from Russia to Costa Rica, through Nicaragua.
Oh, yeah.
Then basically touched by cancer personally. As there's nobody out there today, family, that's untouched by cancer. And people want to know what to do when they're touched by cancer. How do they make a change in others' experience with cancer? So talk about your journey as it relates to when your mother was diagnosed and you came to or became a part of this conference. We were talking before time about, you're like, well, what do I have to bring? and then somebody made a statement to you about advocates. You are the ones that bring the best opportunity for change. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm actually around 12 years in the health sphere, the nutrition.
Wow.
I started long ago with the first pregnancy. My daughter is 11 years old. So that I start from that part. And it's a long journey. But let's go to my mother's diagnosis. And when I found her integrative oncologist from the first time, right? And she sent her like a four-page list of what to do, where to find, what mistletoe, the LDN. What? My mom will never do it alone. So I start to study and to deep in. But when I signed the course of Nasha Winters, first it wasn't easy to get in because I wasn't like a licensed practitioner, but I was insistent, frankly speaking, and Janet, she said, okay, let's go, let's do it. And in the first meeting, I was a little bit scared because I don't have license, I'm not a doctor, and I was thinking, okay, how I can work with people and how I can help them, and if there are some rules. But then one doctor who has a good experience, about 40 years working with cancer patients, he said, that the best results that I have seen in my big practice were from people who are not licensed, who are not doctors, but who just give the soul and the heart and help people to make changes. And it's all about how much time you can give to this person, how you can feel him, the story he's telling, right? When the application is filling, for example, my first appointment, it's around 2.5 hours. And I dig very deep with the emotion, with the family history, and people open up. Sometimes they cry because it's all connected, the mental part and the cancer, very special.
So you took your passion, you converted that to purpose.
Yes.
And it's been one now that you've been doing for quite some time in Costa Rica, but around the world too.
Yes, around the world. It all started with my mom, but then people just speaking around, oh, she's doing this thing, and her mom is really good. Mom was pretty good the last year. And they start speaking around because, the people got the diagnosis so often, and they, I know this girl, she's doing this approach. I know this girl, she's doing metabolic approach, and her mom is better. And so the people started recommending me by mouth, just speaking, and I start walking. But I didn't choose like a simple, normal practice like here in the United States that you have an appointment, right, and then you have another appointment, and that's all. I just created the program of support for 6 months for each person, which include the test, assess, and address. Because I made lots of diagnostic for the people. I'm testing the heavy metals, mycotoxins, glyphosate, onboarding labs, all that we can do, the viruses, bacteria. And after this, I gather all the information, and this is enter the communities that we are in, right, and Nasha Winters and another doctor. So I presented the case here also, and we have some new decisions, and especially I love because they have different companies, like with the new one, Astron Health, for example, that you can make some new clinical research and give the patient who has nothing to do, like doctor said, but there is still an opportunity, right, to do something else for them. So they love this.
Test, assess, address. That's a mantra, if you will, that Nasha has. And actually last night she was down there, I think with a timber, I can't remember what the instrument was, but she was down there. They wanted her to sing along that lines, and she said, no, I'll say it, test, assess, address. And that's what she was doing as I was headed up to bed. So, but anyways, but you coming here was not easy because Costa Rica, you mentioned you flew to Houston and Houston directly to Tucson, leaving behind your children. And so you made some sacrifices to get here.
A little bit.
Right.
Yes.
As you mentioned, we were laughing off set that you said, well, getting away from my kids, it's going to give you a little bit of rest and relaxation. Why did you come here to this Metabolic Health Day conference specifically? Because this is unique. It's a gathering that's unique. It's bringing together significantly different backgrounds, okay? Your background's unique from mine. I'm a doctor working in the integrative space for a long time on cancer. We've got farmers here. We've got other advocates. We've got, policy influencers. So it's a unique opportunity to focus on solutions. We're at a precipice, Olga, where we have an opportunity for, I believe, healing or something very negative, ruin. And I was talking with Nashi yesterday about Rome. People say Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't destroyed in a day. It was destroyed from within. And really interesting, nutrition was a big part of that. Agriculture was a big part of that. So there's a lot of unique people coming in here because I think we're looking to build collaboration, expand the ideas and the concepts. So why did Olga, who has an international reach, but a clinic and a program there in Costa Rica, why did you come here? What's your goals out of this?
This community, it feels warm to me. Like I feel very comfortable, and I came here to make connections and sometimes connect different people because this community helped me a lot. For example, if I have a client in Valencia, I wrote to the community, okay, I'm looking for the practitioner or I'm looking for the clinic. Yeah. If I have a client in the New Jersey or in California or in other states, I just met them here, all. And then I connect some advocates because these girls, the doctors and IV practices, they just say, oh, okay, I'm looking for the advocate. And I say, okay, I have this one too. And they just connect them, But like the big goal, of course, is more connection because I always look for people to add to my program, for example, right? And for future, of course, I would love to make a rehabilitation clinic in Costa Rica. So I may get some contacts, some doctors, some specialists that can help me in future to create my big goal.
So basically, you came here with the intent to grow your relationships with other practitioners, reconnect with practitioners you already know, but expand your network because expanding your network is going to expand your reach, which is going to help more patients.
Yes, this is so true.
Because when we look at medicine today, Olga, what's really interesting is there's a model that I think is broken, which is this isolated model. And what this Metabolic Health Day conference is doing is it's showing that if we break the boundaries down, and if we open the ideas and open our mind, and honestly get away from conformity of thought and actually work to be creative in our thought, anything's possible.
It is.
And your journey, one from Russia to Costa Rica through Nicaragua, to now being an advocate to help people with cancer through your mother's journey, would you change anything looking back on that to where you are today?
I would not.
So it's all been by purpose.
I love my way,
yeah.
And I love where I am. And actually, thanks to my mother, I'm here helping people more than I can imagine. And I don't need to look for the clients and make an advertisement.
Yeah.
Because I just got people calling me, and that's beautiful.
And so being in Costa Rica, you're not alone. Being in the United States, you're not alone. Being in Mexico, you're not alone. This network is working together to really provide innovation in the cancer arena, not just to treat cancer, but to actually heal. And so I want to talk to you about that real quick. On the healing aspect, when somebody comes to you with cancer, are you focused on their disease or are you focusing on helping their body heal? Because people with cancer go, that's not something that's real. I don't know that I can heal. I don't have hope. How do you handle that when a patient comes to you with fear, with doubt? How do you help them with hope and possible?
Yes, you're so right, because 80% of people, they ask, okay, I have this type of cancer, what do you know, what that can help? And my answer is always that, I'm not focusing on the cancer or on the tumor or where is it situated. I'm focusing on you and your terrain, so we can find the imbalances to get better, to feel better, to get your labs good, so you can make the environment so that cancer cannot grow in this body. And not only cancer, it's about another chronic diseases.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point because cancer is a word. The same underlying mechanisms will drive other words that we call disease. But you mentioned terrain, and I love that word that Naisha talks about.
Yes.
And the terrain is our internal ecosystem. And there's a lot of things that make up that. Hormones, immune system, microbiome, metabolomics, etc. But that terrain is not isolated, right? It's connected to a different terrain that's the terrain outside. So how do you incorporate and work with your clients, your patients, to connect the terrain outside to the terrain inside so that they are healing outside and inside? Because I believe that's the best strategy to heal somebody long term, is what they put in, what they feed their body. As I said, let's farm with an F, healing and wellness. Let's quit farming with a PH, disease, because that's what we're doing. And you are incorporating that. And you mentioned down in Costa Rica, they're working to create a very healthy environment. These are two ecosystems. How do you connect those together with the patients through that test, assess, and address?
Yes, for example, I always, my job is about the education, right? So I have to educate the person what he has to eat, what he has to avoid, why he cannot use perfumes, for example. And especially when you compare all this with testing, you can tell, okay, look, you have the glyphosate level is up. So please change the way of you eating and get the organic, and I send the number who can provide this. Or I always give options what products a person can choose so that he can reduce the toxicity. Because I really love the theme of environmental toxins, because my mom has mycotoxins. I have this too, frankly speaking, so I'm working on it. And so this is very interesting theme for me. And I really believe that some toxins, they can be like a part of why a person has cancer.
Yeah.
Because our genome is not like super fast to change. And after 1917, I think they're entering so many toxins in the world that we cannot digest. So it's accumulating, the body cannot excrete, so they just start to explode.
Yeah.
So
there was
it's
this
about the education people.
Yeah. There was this revolving door between government and companies, and that's fueled disease. I mean, this is not by oops, accident. This is, I think it's an unintended consequence, but it's been one that's done nothing but propose an environment that allows disease to just perpetuate. And I think you touch on a very important point there. When most patients go to a doctor with cancer, the doctor says you need to eat better. And they're not really given any tools. Not only are you giving them tools, you're walking alongside them. And that word advocate, you're a nutritionist, but that word advocate is key, because you're advocating for their correct choices, but you're showing them how to implement that into action. Your experience, your passion, your purpose, you're now providing action for patients through that. And I think that's key, because patients think they're alone, and that's why they're afraid. They know they're going to make changes, and that evokes fear. But your purpose into action, I think, provides hope. How do patients receive that?
Very interesting question. Thank you so much. I know that people are struggling with the food plans, recommendations, what to do and how to implement, because in my personal experience, to give a food plan, that's not working. But I gave around 10 specific recommendations that I feel that specific this person can do it. For example, add 2 cups of broccolis a day, or eat a teaspoon of MST oil. Like very simple that the person, okay, I can do it, you know. And another way how I'm doing this, I'm developing social media and Instagram, and I'm just posting my life, and I'm pretty clear, pretty good eating, also vegetables, good meat. So I give advices there, because all my clients, they like to see how I'm living, what I'm eating, what are my kids eating, which vitamins I'm using. So it's like giving the example of yourself, right? Because the people come to me and they like to live the life I'm showing to them as well. Even so, thank God I don't have this diagnosis, but I'm showing the way.
So you practice what you preach.
Yes, I practice what I preach.
And thank you for entering the arena of ideas and the social media platform, because that takes courage. It takes courage to speak out and give hope, because what you're doing is you're showing examples of what wellness and health looks like, even when disease exists. So thank you to do that, because it takes great courage to do that. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me in Instagram, Olga Snopok Health.
Okay. So what's your tag on Instagram?
Olga Snopok Health.
Okay. That's OLGASNOPOK. And you said .health?
Olga Snopok Health.
Okay.
Right.
Olga Snopok Health. So
Thank you.
how do we, coming out of this conference this weekend, how can we work better together? How can we as a group work better together? How can patients and doctors or practitioners outside of that learn from what we're doing here?
You know, this is, I have a good idea for this. I already started this, and I want to bring the integrative oncology and the metabolic approach, of course, to Latin America and community. And it's good you mentioned about the social media, because I start speaking Spanish, obviously, where I'm living, and now I'm doing very good. And I create a metabolic community and LATAM. And I just want to show people that can pay a little bit, just like not the whole program, because unfortunately not all the people can afford this, but something that a little bit, but you can get the access of what is this metabolic health, what you can do, what labs you can do by yourself, what books you can read, what courses you can learn, including the metabolic region of Nasha Winters, the courses, what is included inside. And so that's how I want to spread this knowledge, because I really think that in Latin America, there is a lack of this knowledge, because in Costa Rica, nobody is doing what I'm doing. And I want more people to start doing these projects.
You're teaching patients, you're empowering people to be their own advocate, but to heal their own body, and you're doing that through example. And that is very powerful. Again, you turned your experience and your passion into purpose that is empowering patients to heal. That can't be said enough. And Olga, it's been a pleasure meeting you. And I would speak Spanish to you, ¿cómo está? But my español un poquito.
Qué interesante, me gusta, bravo.
So me amo, Nathan, but
Te amo is the most important.
yeah. So what's your name? So it's a pleasure, but I want to make sure that, I work at the Williams Cancer Institute. Okay, I do consults with patients, and we do innovative therapies in Cabo San Lucas and Mexico City at hospitals, where we're doing intratumoral ablation, intratumoral immunotherapy. But we always are in need of the ability to connect patients to advocates, practitioners that can incorporate lifestyle change, that can incorporate nutritional change, that can incorporate mind, body, spirit change to promote healing at all levels. And so that's why I'm here. It's because I want to connect with other practitioners that are like-minded, so that our reach is not just locally when patients come to us, but our reach shoots out and connects to people like you, that connects to people all across the world, to make this healing strategy actually a network. That the only reason why patients don't heal from cancer is because they don't want to. And it's going to be people like you, it's going to be people that are here, us working together, collaborating together, and communicating together, that I think is going to enable us to do that. I think the future is bright. And I think today what we're going to begin doing this weekend is we're going to start farming with an F, health and wellness. And it's going to be partnerships like this.
Wow.
This organization that I think will do that. So if you're on Instagram, what's that?
It's just started.
Oh, it just started.
It's just the beginning.
That's right.
It feels like.
And I guess when you're on Instagram, you're also showing the beautiful pictures of Costa Rica too, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can people come and visit you if they wanted to down there?
Yes, they can come. I plan to make some retreat as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can connect, also invite maybe your patient, wherever wants.
Yeah, in today's day and time, digital travel, there's no reason why health and wellness cannot be the goal for every patient with cancer, no matter the stage, no matter the recurrence, no matter the treatment, no matter where they are in the world. I think anything is possible. What I always say, Olga, is hope cracks the door of possible. And thank you for being hope to those patients. Thank you for taking your experience and your purpose and turning that into passion that's helping patients. And I look forward to working with you. So beyond your Instagram account, can they find you on a website or any other location? Or
Yes, of course. I have a website also.
Okay.
olgasnopokhealth.life, the same as Instagram, very
Okay.
easy. And you can find it on Instagram as well.
we're going to put that in the show notes, so don't you worry if I mispronounced anything. We'll put that in the show notes where you can click right through it to her website. Well, what would you leave the listeners with about you, your passion, your experience, and how you can help them heal and how you can help them be well? Your experience and your passion. What would you leave with them?
What would I leave for the patient?
Yeah.
I think they always have to listen to their heart and to follow the right way. And when you follow the right way and you have different people around, professionals in the spheres, this way is more faster and the healing will be coming.
I think her story is so unique because what Olga's done is she took an experience that most would let crush them, and she used it to drive a passion that is changing the lives of others. So Olga, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you
It's
so
a
much
pleasure.
for having me here.
Oh, always.
It's a pleasure as
And
well.
I look forward
we'll
to
be waiting for you in Costa Rica.
Oh yeah,
for
that'd be
sure.
great. Oh yeah, my wife's going to love that. My wife's going to love that.
for sure.
But I look forward to actually referring patients to you and us actually bearing fruit with that relationship to help people heal in every possible way that they can. And it's going to be partnerships like this. It's going to be this meeting that I think changes healthcare moving forward. Thank you for
Thank you so
joining me,
much.
Olga.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Nathan Goodyear. This is another Prescribed by Dr. Nathan Goodyear podcast at the Metabolic Health Day Conference. More coming at you very soon. So check us out and check out Olga's Instagram account.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Prescribed Podcast. All references supporting this episode can be found on the prescribed.com website. That's pre-scribe.com. To get your next dose of medical innovation, make sure you subscribe to Prescribe. We'll see you for your next refill.